Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great weekend and May the 4th be with you because it is May the 4th. And here we go. We'll get cruising right through and I'll tell you a crazy story. And here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Here, I'll flip right over so I don't forget. And I'll let some people hop on and I'll tell you guys a wild story. So I'll just let you guys hop on for a few minutes. We'll look at that. It did close pretty green, and I did see the futures were down a little bit, so we'll see what's going on. And so yeah, this weekend I'm absolutely out of my mind, crazy, of course, with the brain injury, but I still go out and try to do stuff. I can't, like I said, work like I used to, but anyway, I still just like to get outside, do some stuff, and so I'm out there by the golf course, and I wanted to put a piece of edging around it where the tree houses, and I mulched it in. And long story short, I put this piece of like metal edging that comes with like these four stakes, and you drive them in, and yeah, so I drive it in, and I guess it like I drive it into like one of the roots, so it's way in there. And then I realize I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't want it right here. Let me pull it out. So I don't know what I'm thinking sometimes. Clearly not thinking straight. That's why I can't do that kind of stuff anymore. So with the hammer, don't go get a pry bar or something like a big bar or like a tool that would be easy for it. I get the hammer and then I put it on the stake and I just start pulling up like as hard as I can. And of course it slides off the stake. I mean, why would it not? The stake's a flat stake. It's not even like it wasn't a good idea. And I'm telling you guys, it hit me right there, right between my nose and my teeth. I don't know how it didn't knock out my teeth or break my nose. I have no idea. I mean, I hit myself full force with the hammer. I mean, as hard as I could pull up, it hit me right there. I could feel it. I mean, I can't really talk as well. You could probably tell. That's why I had to tell the story because I can clearly tell I can't talk as well. My mouth is like a little bit swelled up, and it even went over to that side, but it's definitely swelled up. And so yeah, I'm like standing there and I'm looking at the hammer now, and I'm like, I think I just hit myself in the face with this hammer. This isn't good. So I somehow get into the house, and my wife, thank goodness she's home. God bless her. I mean, dealing with me is like I'm a maniac, guys. I'm crazy, and so I'm just telling a crazy story. And so I come in the house, and I just say to her, I'm like, and she said I was white as a ghost, and I was like, yo, I just hit myself in the face on accident with a hammer as hard as I like possibly can, and I feel like I'm gonna pass out. And I sat down and basically passed out. So yeah, she like put a rag on my head, and I thought I still had sunglasses on my head when I like, woke up like 30, 40 minutes back in like reality. It was felt like that time. I guess it was like 30 minutes. And I was like, where'd I get a rag on my head at? And she was cracking up, and I didn't remember anything. And I'm still kind of out of it. I'm not going to lie. So we'll see how far we get along. And those of you just tuning in, I'm just telling a crazy story. I was out back doing a little landscape and messing around, just, trying to get some sun and a little exercise, and trying to pull a stake out of the ground, and literally smacked myself right there at full force with a hammer. I mean, I said to my wife, I said, I guess I can still take a pretty good shot to the face. Not that I have many left after my head injury, but holy cow. So yeah, I'm a little bit slower tonight and not as with it, but yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me, guys. I'm just a walking disaster, and so yeah, that happened yesterday afternoon, and it definitely yeah, I'm not 100% with it. I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna go through some stock charts. I was looking at them again. It's like kind of difficult to talk. I can't even chew on that side. I had to chew on this side, so it was bizarre. And I don't even know how I didn't knock out any teeth or break my nose. I was like, that's the most insane shot. I mean, it literally was like right over my gum and right under my nose. I have no idea how I landed it right there, but anyway, I guess a lucky shot. That's what I'll take it as. I guess I have a lot of them. Yeah, crazy, right, Luis Rodriguez? I'm a maniac. Thanks, though. And yeah, so I'm nuts, and obviously you guys know it. All right, AREB is on the list. I actually was looking right before, and we'll cross that off and put DXF. I was like, I thought I had it on there, but I didn't see it. I see it right there underneath that PLRZ, which we had talked about last week. I know that because Sam is Sam on tonight. I hope Sam does hop on. Sam actually was at the Berkshire meeting this week and or this weekend. So he literally saw Warren Buffett retire live, and I know that he sent me a picture. So yeah, Sam Bellantini, he always hops on and posts stuff all the time. So I'm not sure if he's on tonight. But yeah, he was definitely there. So that's there. He said, "I'm here." There you go. So there you go, guys. Sam's there, right there. And so yeah, and he was definitely at the Berkshire thing, which is definitely cool. I always thought that would be really cool. And so yeah, we're that's really nice. And if you have anything to add, Sam, about the meeting or anything that you saw that was interesting, please feel free to chime in. I'd be more than happy to speak about it and anything you want to talk about that, because you did see Warren Buffett like retire live. I mean, what a time to pick. He actually, Sam messaged me the other day. He said he was going. I was like, wow, that's really cool. He said, yeah, I've always wanted to go. I'm like, yeah, that would be really awesome. Keep me posted. Let me know. And the next thing you know, Warren Buffett's retiring live. And I mean, nobody even knew. The CEO didn't even know. Well, the new CEO that they're going to make, he didn't even know. So kind of crazy stuff right there. Apparently, I guess only his like immediate family knew about it, which is pretty wild. So very cool, Sam, that you got to see that. And see, you just never know when you attend something what's going to happen there. But yeah, we'll add everything to the list. We'll make sure we get through everything, even with my busted up face. And like I said, and honestly, I have no idea how you can't even really tell. It is swelled up, but there's really no mark. I mean, I literally took a hammer pretty good to the face. I'm nuts, guys. I'm telling you. It used to happen. I'm telling you, I used to do crazy stuff when I did construction. I just can't be getting hit in the head like this anymore. And I was it's funny, my wife makes fun of me because when I go out and do stuff like this, I literally have a baseball hat. You can look at them on Amazon. They're like $25, but it's like a baseball hat that's like a construction hat. It's pretty hard and it's not very heavy either. It's pretty lightweight. So I wear it when I go out there and do stuff because I don't want to be bumping my head on a branch or hitting anything. I'm telling you guys, if I hit my head, it's literally like I get a concussion. It's crazy. And you guys know how bad I got hit. So anyway, I don't have to go into that. But yeah, and I go smack myself in the face with a hammer. And yeah, just I'm insane. So anyway, we'll go through the list and we'll knock everything out. But that was my excitement, I think, this weekend anyway. So yeah, it kind of knocked me out of it. And then today I went to a kids party and that was a lot of fun. So watching all the kids jump around on them inflatable things, that's always a good time. So yeah, anyway, that was that. And then the weekend goes by, and here we are Sunday night. May the 4th be with you. And tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo, and we'll be hanging out and having a fiesta and a siesta and everything else. So, anyway, don't mind if I'm not talking as normal as possible, as normal as usual, I mean. And, and yeah, and I'm a little bit not 100% with it, but I bet I'll get into the zone once we start looking at these stock charts. I haven't even really looked at any since I just smacked myself in the face, but I'm fine. I'm good enough to do it. I could tell you that. You guys know if I couldn't do it, I wouldn't show up. But yeah, I was just like, I can't believe I just hit myself in the face like that. Actually, I didn't really think about it until like an hour and a half later because I was out of it. But here we go. Let's roll logic, Mark. So there's plenty of yous on, and I told a crazy story at the beginning. If you're just tuning in, and let's get cruising and see what's going to be popping this week because that's what we're caring about. And I'm already telling you, I already know. I gave it to you last week, and it's right here at the top. And yeah, I know it's going to be popping. There's a few of them, but I know a new one that's going to be running up at Pullback on Friday. We were watching it, as a matter of fact, and we'll get to it and I'll show you. But anyway, here we go. Let's cruise logic, Mark. Over that 20 still had a little bit of pullback. Obviously, you can see there. And it still doesn't look bad. It did go into the weekend, pulling back a little bit. So we will have to see, especially with the futures down. But the one cool thing with these bad boys is when the Mag 7 and the big caps like to go a little red, these things like to run a little bit. The money seems to, I guess, to pour in. I have no idea, but you can even see it's held a base here. We'll see. And it has nice support still down here over a penny. We'll be watching our logic mark in the morning. So our KIDZ massive run up last week. That was a beauty all the way up to like what did it go up to past $10 right there. So there you go. That was our KIDZ, and I know plenty of us got into that bad boy. And look at that, the 117 to 856, and then it continued on Friday 820 to 1065. It is in the sixes right now, and it could pull back right there. It did hit that 200 day, and it is moving towards the top. You're gonna have to look at it in the morning and see if it wants to hit that top line right there and maybe get in there. But as of that pullback look, it was kind of pulling back there. So we'll keep an eye on that. It did hit over $10, which was pretty nice because, like I said, someone did post that. I said it the other day, and I said 7 would be nice. And you could see where I was thinking that 7. That's where it closed, right around there. But somebody did say, let's see it hit 10. And I commented 7 would be nice. And they nailed it with the 10. So it did go over 10, and it's now around 7, a little under right now. But there you go, a KIDZ. And there you go with that one. So I just wanted to make sure the audio is right, and it is. And here we are. All right, let's roll through our list tonight, and I'll show you guys what's going to be popping besides these ones that were popping last week. Logic Mark still not looking bad, and Bond still setting up. Did pull back a little bit, had that nice run up, and maybe they will pull back to the 20 and get rolled off, just as Bond is doing it, because you can see it wants to. And I still think this one has an opportunity, so we're going to keep an eye on this tomorrow as it's kind of curl up off that 20 again. And it did have that nice little run up there from 8 to 11. I think it could run up a little bit more, so keep an eye on it. You can see all the way up here, and they've been popping up there, guys, and you know that they like to bounce off of a line right there or some kind of support or something. So it very well could be getting set up to run. And this one, I'm telling you guys, just keep your eye on this bad boy this week. It did run up a little bit last week. We mentioned it Thursday. I was telling you guys it pulled back and ran. It was 27 and a half. It ran up to 48. It closed at 30, 32 or so in the after hours. We'll look at it right here. And yeah, it also has a reverse split. I did not know it was reverse splitting right there, to be honest with you. There you go. It did announce it the other day. All right, well, then we're waiting on this one until that reverse split, obviously, tomorrow. Well, clearly, the reverse split tomorrow, like I said, it was setting up without even knowing it was reverse splitting. This one was set up, and the one that I really liked, I talked about it last week and did not know it was reverse splitting. But there you go, guys. I'm telling you, keep your eye on NIVF, especially with the reverse split. We'll be watching that one in the morning, you know that. So we will definitely keep an eye on that one. And SPHL, this one caught my eye. It was up last week. I just jotted it down Friday as the day was running on there, and I figured we'd just go over it to see if it had any momentum. But it was running up there 45 to 95 the other day on Thursday, and then on Friday it was 83 back to 95. It came all the way back to 50, and that's why I wanted to look at it to see if it had a good opportunity here. And we'll keep an eye on this just to see what it wants to do around the 20, if it wants to bounce back up. But that's what we're looking at on it. And I know it did already pop up, but we'll look and see if it's trying to get set back up there. So just caught my eye there. And of course, our green lane, or our GNL first. I just didn't type it in right for green lane. And this one, we'll just look at it real quick. Just kind of a little pull back there to the 20 in that channel. But anyway, we're not even looking at it. But I was trying to type this in right there, Green Lane Holdings, GNLN. And obviously, we've been watching it. And like I said, we could get it under a penny, and we certainly did last week on Thursday, right? It came under a penny, or Friday. I forget. Thursday, it was under a penny. And then Friday, it ran back up. Yeah, Thursday, it was under a penny there. And then Friday, it ran back up a little bit, but still, I mean, I don't think it's completely ready. It was trying to hit that MACD line, and this is what I was talking about. I thought it would be a little more set up, or actually, yeah, it is. It's hitting it a little better right there in the after hours. And honestly, I don't know. It doesn't have that look like it wants to get through. So we may see this get down And that's why I was saying if you wanted to trade it, and you will see it dip down and run up there, and it's a good opportunity, but make sure you're trading it until it's exactly ready to get set up, because obviously this thing could pull back and maybe we're going to get it dirt cheap. And so that's what we're looking at for GNLN. And that's what I was talking about last week, and how I say they'll run up, but they'll also close lower than the day that they or lower than they opened, or the day that they closed the day before. So you got to be careful of that and make sure you're getting in and out of them. And that is your Green Lane Holdings, and I can't be doing that. That hurt. Anyway, GNLN. We'll be keeping our eye on that one for sure this week. You know that, because we want to see if it wants to pull back right there off the MACD, or if it does want to get rolling. But of course, you want to know, because if it doesn't, it comes way down. We want that at that best price. And this one, we've been talking about getting set back up in a good spot right here. BTOG was running up a little bit the other day, and it does look good. So, I can't type either. So, BTOG, but here you go. It's been running back up. We looked at it before when it was running up, and here it goes. It's hitting that 50 and trying to set up pretty good. So you can see it in between this channel. You kind of know where it's going, and it is setting up in a good spot there. So that's one to be keeping an eye on this week for sure, and especially tomorrow, see if it wants to get cruising there. And how about PAPL, Pineapple Financial? This one took a really good dip, and it grabbed my attention right here, PAPL. And look at that bad boy dipping down. So I just want to see what it wants to do tomorrow, and maybe even look at it in the morning if it wants to have a little bounce play. So that's why I wanted to put it on there. But I just wanted to put it on there especially so I could put a big line next to it, and I could keep an eye on it, because I want to see what it wants to do. But also everybody else look at it in the morning, especially 4 a.m. crew, and see if it does want to bounce. It has that kind of crazy look. Can't guarantee you. And this one, IBO, somebody did mention last week, right on Thursday, and look at that thing. This thing was cruising up there, and I think we looked at it a couple days last week, and it did move 42 to 93. It closed at 60. It does not look terrible. It's in that channel now, so keep an eye on this one. It could get up into the 50, which is over $1 right there. You can see it still has some room. It did pull back, it says, a little. Obviously, it was at 60 and ran way up, but it did pull back after 4 o'clock. That's what I was going to say, because this closes at 4 still, and then you can see it did pull back. So we'll have to see how that IBO looks. And then I always think of this one, IBIO. And we were just looking at it the other day, not long ago, because it had taken this big dip. And look, it actually got set up. They have earnings. They did just have earnings last week, and it's still in the basement right there, but it might be one to keep an eye on. I know we checked it out last week, but look at that 20 coming down. It was touching it right there. So we'll keep it. I'll look at this IBIO. I know this company from trading it before. And Ford wasn't looking bad. And remember, all the way down here, we liked it. They do have earnings coming up tomorrow. So it was an interesting look right there on the earnings play. You know, I don't like the earnings, but I had no idea it had earnings. I just knew it looked interesting is all I knew. But I'm just saying it looks interesting on that earnings play. I didn't realize they were tomorrow until we looked right there. But now we do know Ford is tomorrow and has one of them looks. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. Look at it getting set up right there. So keep an eye on Ford with their earnings coming up right there. So we'll be watching it. And then ITO, I know this one's pretty popular right now, N2 off. And we've looked at this plenty of times, and it was bouncing up on Friday. I did see that one. And there you go. Big runner, 24 to 52. It closed at 49, and it's not looking bad. And you know, this is a lot. This is on Laptop Travel's list quite often, and it ran way up there, and then it came back into this channel, but closed pretty strong up there. So it did run way up. It's at about 50. What do we say? It's at up 50 cents right there. So we'll see what it wants to do in the morning, but it absolutely could keep that momentum and keep cruising up there for NITO. Another one, guys, to keep your eye on, especially that morning crew. They do love these things, especially something like this one right there in Laptop Travel. I'm sure is very familiar with this one. He has it on the list all the time because it runs around the bunch. and it goes from like the very basement and it'll run in the top, just as you can see, and then it'll run from the basement, have some good spike up. So we've tracked this a bunch of times and caught some poppers off of it. And how about this XYZ? We were just talking about it the other day and it had dipped down there. Remember, we were saying this thing has been like at its all time lows, and then it had the earnings coming up, and it's way down there right there. So we have to see what this wants to do. XYZ, what is it? Block? Yeah, block. And it dipped down. I just remember dipping down the other day and I was looking at it, and then they had earnings, but we're going to have to see what it wants to do right here as it hits that trend. Does it want to come down a little bit more into the basement or start bouncing back up? But it's way down here, guys. So it's probably a good one to take a look at. And we'll keep an eye on XYZ right there, block, and see what block's up to. And let's see what FFAI is doing tonight or tomorrow. FFAI, that Faraday Future, and good old Nader's call right here. And again, it did run way up, pulling back, and maybe it does pull back. Maybe it meets it around here, it pulls back a little bit more tomorrow, and then we'll get rolled off that MACD. So it did run up beautifully. I mean, you can't call it any more perfect. We did it right before that it was right back here because it was right as the right before Easter, and I know Easter was back up in here somewheres. But anyway, it was like right around here when Nader was saying it likes to run, and then boom, it ran all right. Let it pull back a little bit, roll off the MACD, and it'll probably start running up again. And he said it likes to run over 100% in May, and we're just starting May, and it just started to get run. So we're obviously keeping an eye on FFAI and Green Lane. That one's going to make it on the list 7 times because so many people asked. And again, I'm not exactly with it, so I could have wrote it down 7 times and not even noticed it tonight. AGMH. That one is pulling back. I mean, it had a massive run up there. It did look like it was trying to base out, and Friday came down again. Something maybe they're going to pull back to that 20, not necessarily make a base up higher and pull back to the 20 to get rolled off the MACD. Not saying it doesn't have potential, but that's why you want to get rid of them and not hold on to them and watch them pull back, especially when we find them and they're down here 3 cents and they run up to like 15. So anywhere in that area is a pretty good spot rather than waiting for it to come back down, because then you always want it to go back up and they can pull way back down. That's where you have to watch them, and we always do, but we figure they're going to get caught on the 20 and try to roll back up. But that's not always the case. So that's why you get a better opportunity and you get in and out of them. And CLBR, we've been kind of watching this one. It was that one that Trump had talked about, and exactly what we were talking about just now, kind of if it could keep that base. And this one did come out of the top a little bit, and it does look like it's a pretty good potential for tomorrow. I must say, CLBR. And if I had it, there we go. And yeah, this thing is curling back up, guys. I must say that CLBR. I know Ben from the Trading Story was liking it, and I'm telling you guys, they have a good Discord over there. He just posted. He slays it. He posted what he's done in the last few months. Check it out. He posted the thing. I told you I like them guys a lot. They're good dudes. I talk to them, and they have a good Discord over there. It's definitely a good thing going. And yeah, they crushed this call the other day before it even started to run. But I know I don't know if he got out of the entire position, but I was going to say I'll have to hit him up and tell him that it looks like it is curling up again if he's not listening, and looking pretty decent to try to run back up there for CLBR. So I'll have to I'll post about that, because I know we were looking at it the other day, and actually we have the small cap show tomorrow, so I'll be on there with him at 1:00, and he's one of the co-hosts, Ben from Trading Story. So there you go. Or Story Trading. What am I talking? I'm telling you guys, I'm not with it 100%. So my apologies. Don't blame me for anything. I can look at a chart, but everything else is. I'm telling you, it's like I get into the matrix. I knew I would be okay. Don't ask me anything else, because I'm not 100% with it. PTPI, and those of you just tuning in, I told a crazy story earlier, and long story short, I was messing around outside just doing some landscape and stuff, and I was trying to get a stake out the ground, and like a dummy, I'm pulling it up with a hammer, and I slipped off the stake and it hit me right there with full force, hit myself in the face with a hammer. So my face is all swelled up a little bit, and it's all good though. Fun stuff in my life. I don't know how my wife deals with me. I'm nuts. I'm telling you guys, it's always been like this. My whole life has been crazy. So anyway, that's why I just kind of laugh about things and keep on cruising. But that bad boy hurt. I'm not gonna lie. You don't want to get hit in the face with a hammer. I'm like, Jesus, what the hell am I doing? Anyway, I didn't even go through this one, did I? And if I did, I don't remember. But PTPI, I don't think I did. Um, yeah, this bad boy's going back down. It was looking pretty good. Didn't it reverse split? Or yeah, it did. It reverse split. And the other day, it was like under 3 cents or under a penny or something. And it reverse split it to like 24 cents. We were just talking about. I do remember that. And I was saying, let's wait for it. It is pulling back a little bit. I think it's going to wait and get pulled back. I still can't believe it reverse split. And it was like a 1 for 15 or something, 1 for 25, it says. And they only made it go up to like 20 something cents. It was kind of bizarre. It had me faked out. I didn't know what was going on, but I do think it is setting up. Look at this thing. I mean, possibly this week could be an opportunity. Maybe it pulls back a little bit and then gets cruising, and we'll see how it opens up tomorrow. But I do think it's going to be an opportunity right there as it gets set up after that reverse split. And this one is one that can pop pretty good, pretty fast. And look at it holding that pattern. Once it gets under there, it does. It bounces down. And Friday it had a nice dip. I didn't even notice it, to be honest with you. But it had pulled back Thursday. I do remember pulling back Thursday. Didn't realize it did it again Friday. But this thing always seems to like to bounce back up. I don't know why. It does seem to be pulling back a little bit. So maybe we'll keep an eye and see what it's doing tomorrow. You can see it's trying to pull back. And obviously, if it pulls back, it will get that run up. So maybe we know that this might have been that bottom way down there, like 10 cent area, wherever it's been pulling back here, like right under 10 cents, 10 cent, and right under. So that could be a little bottom area that we can keep an eye for this, because then it bounces up to like 13 and even higher, possibly up to 14. And from 10 to 14 is a pretty good little bounce, especially this will do it in one day real fast, like it's nothing. So it's just one to keep an eye on. We've been watching these bounces for a while now. You can see them all, and then it started bouncing. It did run up off the setup there, and it isn't looking too bad. But this Linkage Global is looking pretty good the other day. LGCB, and let's see, it was kind of flat, I guess. But look at that thing getting set up. We're definitely going to have to look at this thing tomorrow. I can tell you that right now. It was looking good, and it is looking really good to me. I like it right there. LGCB, Linkage Global. Like I said, it started looking good last week, and I've been watching it. And I think it's one to keep an eye on for tomorrow. How about HEPA? We've been watching this thing, and it just, oh, it did run Friday. Or no, did it stop? Yeah, it did run Friday. That had to have been Friday, May 2nd. And there you go. I don't remember when it was, but 28 to 45. Did it run up in the pre-market or something? But seems that it ran. And this thing, I was going to say, it seems that it doesn't want to really get moving. And then it obviously ran up there, but it's still, it is setting up. I do remember it ran up quick the other day too, last week, and that was right there. But yeah, gonna pull back a little bit, but we'll see. Maybe it will be getting set up soon. And we've been kind of watching this thing. It does, and that's why it does look like it bottomed out there at 25, and it hasn't come back all the way down there. So maybe if you catch one of these dips down, or maybe it has another little dip down that area right here, and then gets pulled back up. So something to keep an eye on for HEPA if you like that one. But that one is way down. And this Clue was pulled back. It's trying to move. Like I said, it was up there the other day, ran up to that top. And, or no, what am I talking about? This thing's way in the basement. I'm looking at it up there. What am I talking about, guys? I was going to say that thing's not at the top, Clue. This is definitely in the bottom. We've been watching it on this line. Don't mind me. It was run up the other day, as I just remembered. Then I just noticed it up there. I didn't even see it down there. I'm telling you, I'm not with it. But anyway, let's look at it now that we're looking at the right spot. And that's great. And yeah, it's kind of getting set up, these China small caps. And we'll look at that other one, LICN, but let's look at this one better, LEU and see what it wants to do. We'll get a better clue right here. And you don't get a better clue, really. It's just kind of running flat. It's been doing it. It ran up and it still has that flat look. But I'm telling you, this thing is going to want to spring up there. Let's just make sure if this 20 gets curled back up here, guys, I think it's going to be a great opportunity to 50s all the way up there at $2. But that's not even what we're looking at. We are looking at the difference in where it goes from between that and there, because that gets crazy. And these things do like to spike like that, like wild. So we will keep an eye on it. LICN, I do remember this being up a little bit. It had pulled back the other day, but that looks like it was its low all the way down here, and it hasn't gotten back. But look at that getting on the 20. And this is one we were looking at, and I forgot to write it down. I'll jot it down real quick. LICN. But yeah, we were looking at this. It was kind of pulling back, but looks pretty good again. So maybe some of these China small caps are looking a little bit better right there. And how about Icon? This one was trying to get set up last week, and it's still just trying to get set up right here. It's still in the basement, and look at it. It's trying to get crawled up right there and pull it up. So we do have to keep an eye on this Icon right here to see if it wants to get curled up. Look at it, just flat right there, and it doesn't seem to want to get out of the basement, but it does. The 20 seems to want to pull it up there in one of them spots where a lot of these are starting to look good. So I've been keeping an eye on that. And ALLR was running up the other day. It was a good run up, and now it's pulling back, but it's in a good spot. So maybe it'll try to bounce back off. Maybe it doesn't even need to. And just with that 20 and 50 meeting up, it can shoot back up. But that's another one you can keep an eye on, and you can see maybe it pulls back, but it doesn't necessarily have to. You can tell right there. So I'll look at that in the morning, but another one to take a look at, Morning Crew, because it could have a little run up tomorrow morning. Obviously, it looks like it could. It wants to pull back, but you could get a little bounce up right there. So just something to keep an eye on. And I just try to point things out the entire market so we can keep an eye on things. And DGLY, I don't think we even went through that one yet. Daniel, I just happened to notice. So yeah, I don't think we even went through that yet. And I'll definitely go over it. Did I even write it down? I meant to. I thought I did. Yeah, it's coming up actually. We're right on Wang and Lee. So you're right in time there, Daniel Jenkins. So just sit tight for a minute and you'll hear about DGLY in 1 second. So Wang and Lee right here, WLGS, and this thing we've been watching. And let's see if Wang and Lee, and this is a Hong Kong one, and we've been watching this for like a week or so, well, maybe even a little longer. And it's starting to get into that good spot right there. Maybe this week will be a good week for Wang and Lee, WLGS. So I will be watching that. And LRHC, that real estate one, had pulled back a little bit. It was trying to get cruising, guys. And look at it. It does look like it's trying to move back up. It lost a little momentum there. And we will see if it does try to move. Look, it lost a little momentum on Thursday, but tried to recoup itself on Friday right there. So it will be an interesting one to see how it opens. I think if it can get back in that channel, it could really get running up here and be a decent one there. And remember, this thing ran up to like 40 cents the other morning right here. And then by the time it was like 7 o'clock, it was way down. So you got to remember, these things can spike up fast. And this one doesn't even show it on here for whatever reason, but it definitely ran up to 40 something cents the other morning. And we definitely know that. And we're watching that to see if it does want to curl back up in Onco. This was one that was looking decent last week right here. ONCO in that channel, spiking up, a little bit of pullback there Friday. Nothing terrible. So I would keep an eye on this. And you can see it had some good spike ups in the all week right there, a little bit of runaround. So, yeah, you can get in this and trade it and expect it to try to start curling up. And another one, look at these 20s. They're all looking kind of crazy like that. And all they have to do is get curled up, and they can really start moving them up to the 50s, which are usually pretty high up, like 6 to 13. So that's a good jump over double. So that's what you're looking for, and that's what I'm looking for. And here you go, Daniel, DGLY. We will take a look at it right now for you, Digital Ally. And it's another one right in that channel. Had a little bit of pullback right there, but it did go up some in the after hours or so. It says, let's see what it did. Let's see. Oh yeah, it did run up. I do know it did run up in the after hours. It was up to like 4 cents. Yep. And it ran up to 5. I don't know if I noticed that, but yeah, this one actually is looking good. I remember talking about it last week saying it could be another one that was getting set back up. So absolutely keep an eye on this. It did start to run up there in the after hours on Friday. What it can do on a Monday morning after a weekend like this, I mean, it's a pretty much a coin flip. So 4 o'clock, and again, if it wasn't a 4 o'clock in the morning that would make it all crazy, we'd probably be able to tell, but you just don't know because there's a 4 o'clock in the morning people trading, and you just have no idea what is going to happen. And just thinking about that, I was wondering, what did Logic Mark end up with? 410 million. So it's definitely pulling back on the volume because it was in the billions and now it's under a half a billion. So it definitely pulled back there. It was on, that was still pretty damn high there. But for Friday, it definitely pulled back some, and we'll see if the volume gets cruising again tomorrow. But it does look hooked up there and looking pretty good. But it just thought of that as I was sitting there thinking about DGLY. I was thinking about that volume, and that volume was 101 million right there on this bad boy. But yeah, it's not looking bad to get curled up. And again, what it can do after the 4 o'clock crew rolls in and does their trading, who the heck knows? It's so crazy, and you've never seen anything like it before. So it just makes the market difficult. Sometimes we have a good grasp on it, but over the weekend, it's really tough. I just like to know exactly what's all set up and what we really want to look at. We have a good idea, and I would definitely be looking at DGLY in the morning, Daniel Jenkins. So that's what I would say about that. And you can tell, you can't really 100% tell any of these, but you can tell which ones you definitely want to have an eye on. And DGLY, obviously, you want to keep an eye on it with that momentum running after the 4 or after the after hours on Friday. But yeah, the 4 a.m. crew, they're crazy. The 4 a.m. crew's out to grab that early cash traders. I'm telling you, Laptop Travels on it with it, and every morning trading like crazy. It's quick. It moves very fast. If you can lock it in and trade like that, and not everybody can, trust me, it's pretty wild stuff. But if you can just have a fast finger and be like, all right, I'm buying this here and selling it there, and that's a wrap. You can do pretty well. And obviously, depending on your time zone, and it's all off of EST time, so it's 4 a.m. Eastern Standard. So depending on your time zone, it's a crazy time. But again, it's a lot of international people, I think, trading, and just it's just crazy, guys. I've talked about it many of times, and it makes the market fluctuate quite a bit. But here we go. Let's take a look. And yeah, Top Travel said he uses hotkeys these days, so no type in prices or shares. What's hotkeys? Is that what is that on Webull, obviously, or is that a different platform? I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. So let us know there, Laptop Travel, because I'm not even sure. But anyway, let's get cruising through. I'll go through these things, and I feel like I'm a little slow tonight. But anyway, here we go. Holo's pulling back to that bottom part right there. Not looking bad, guys. I mean, we'll have to keep an eye on it. Look at it getting to be in a great, it wasn't a great spot, but a great pullback. Did it reverse split or something? I don't really remember. It was way back there, and it kept pulling back. So, yeah, we're going to be keeping an eye on that Holo, that's for sure, and see what that wants to do this week. And TMDE was another one. Laptop Travel had found it was running up last week, had a little healthy pullback right there. And again, they do run up, they pull back, and then they run back up. They had that massive dip. And it's a new one, but yeah, it does look like it. And just looking at the candles, because you don't have much data here to go from, but looking at the candles, it could try to curl back up again. Look at that, it bottomed out, it came up and then ran back down. So we'll see what it wants to do tomorrow, but you could see it move up a little bit on TMDE. And this DNN is that uranium one, and it is looking good, guys. Look at this thing curling up. Does have earnings coming up at some point in next week. it looks like next Monday, so a week away from tomorrow. And DNN, yeah, look at that bad boy. I gave that out on the small cap show right there a few weeks ago, and we've talked about it. But yeah, there you go. That was all the way down there at the bottom at 108. Now you're at 146 and cruising right along and looking pretty good for DNN and AZTR right here. Azatra or something like that. This one was trying to get set up a little bit of pullback. It looks like on Friday, nothing crazy. I had run up pretty good right there, I must say, on April 24th and the 25th. And it is probably going to get that roll off right there. And that's what we love to see. They run up and then they come back down, then they run back up. And we do like to roll off rather than to be underneath of them bouncing down. They're a lot easier to figure out. When they're going to run up, but also when they're bouncing down, you can't exactly tell how far it'll come down. These ones you can kind of see exactly, and they're in a channel or so. You can catch the bottoms a little bit better, I think. So that is AZTR and PLRZ. This thing ran massively, guys. Over like almost over 300%. I know that. We were talking about it the other day. As a matter of fact, I believe, was it Sam? Weren't you asking about this one? If I remember correctly, Sam. I think so. PLRZ, but somebody, I think it was Sam. If not, it was somebody was definitely asking about this thing. And look at that bad boy. Look at that. Had that momentum going in Thursday, and then Friday, boom, 50 to 178, and it closed at 94. And it's not looking bad, I must say. So might want to keep an eye on it. Look at it. It's in a good spot in that basement. Just make sure, or in the it's in a good spot in the top. Make sure it stays in there, and you will be good. So there you go with PLRZ, and you're definitely keeping an eye on that for some momentum. But yeah, that thing ran up quite a bit right there, and we were talking about it. So there you are with your PLRZ. And again, you cannot possibly trade all these guys, but you can see we go through every single popper. We pick out where it's at, what it's going to do, and we're generally on point when they're going to be popping for sure. And so yeah, you just got to pick the ones that you like and trade them smart. You don't even want to trade them all. I promise you, it's too many of them. Just stick to that one, maybe two if you like to, but if you stick to one and you trade it, like you have a good solid trade on it, you'll do perfectly fine. You'll do better than if you try to trade all of them and jump around like a maniac, because you'll just be all over the place. It's just too tough, guys. It'll just break you down. So anyway, PLRZ, big massive runner right there the other day, and then I would watch for it to try to go up a little more for some momentum in the morning. And again, with that early momentum or early 4 o'clock crew, you don't know what they're going to do. But this AREB was trying to get set back up right here. It was pulling back. No, it wasn't. Hold on. I don't really remember. I'm not going to lie. AREB 319 to 350. It did pull back a little bit. So it did run up. It pulled back some. And let's see if it's going to get ready right here to see if it can roll back up. You can see it, but that 20's coming down. It wasn't a really good spot, and obviously this thing had run up pretty well too, but right back there and then pull back, and we'll see what it wants to do right here. I'm just trying to see. It does look like it's trying to curl up right there. I'll take a better look at AREB in the morning. Somebody just remind me about it, and I will look at it because we've been watching this thing, and it does look like it's trying to roll. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, Sam did see that reverse split got canceled. Was that what happened on PLRZ? They canceled a reverse split, and something crazy was going on. And yeah, I remember you asked about it, and yeah, they figured it would pop. It sure did pop, and they cancel a reverse split. You have to figure they don't cancel them very often, and when they do, you know it's for they know they can get it back over $1, guys. That's what happens. I'm not gonna lie. They know they can get it over $1 and almost keep it over $1. And look at it, went to $1.19. and it closed 94 cents, but they may get it to run some more tomorrow. And then to be in compliance, they're going to need to keep it up like 10 trading days or so, I think, something like that. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, they're pretty confident. And look at that chart running up that this thing was going to run. So they said, we don't need a reverse split. What would we do that for? We're just going to dilute it when it's going to run up anyway and just pop, and we don't have to worry about it. So if you ever see that happening where they're canceling them, bring them up onto the show and let us know, because it's definitely a good one. It hit $1.76 in the after hour, Sam said. So there you go. And that's what you look at. Boom, $1.78. That $1.78 right there, Sam. So you missed it by 2 cents. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, that was a beauty right there. And yeah, again, if you ever see them like that and they're canceling a reverse split for whatever reason, who cares why? Just bring them up, because chances are it's going to pop. Look at it come right off of that trend line, boom, and just pop like a maniac. So there you go. That was Sam. Sam was talking about that guy, and it popped. And then AREB, we'll look at it in the morning. This TRNR was not looking bad. It was pulled back a little bit, but it was trying to get moving. It looks like it's making a base finally down here, and it was making that quick curl up. I do remember now that I look at it. Oh, this is that one that like you couldn't really tell. It was curling up on here, and then on the other one, they were like two different looks. I actually looked on TradingView as well, and I still couldn't really tell what the heck was going on, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, regardless of which one right here, they both look like they're not bad, and it is kind of blending together. It was just over when the other one was trying to curl up. It was just a little bit bizarre, but they do look pretty good with this TRNR. I know it's been popping up on the scanner. And so we'll see if it can get moving again. And this is one that we had looked at before and then started dipping back down. But yeah, maybe it can get moving and back up into this channel at least. So we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow morning, and we'll watch and see what that wants to do. And this KWE, I know somebody else likes this thing, and it did split back there, and it did run the other day, but then it really started to run up on Friday right there, and it could continue to run. There you go, 498 to 760, and then it really closed up there at 755. So might want to keep an eye on that thing, KWE right here. And that's another one we were just looking at. It looks like it could keep some momentum going early in the morning, guys, for that morning cruise. So keep your eyes on KWE. I forget who looks at that one, and I think it's on the StockTwits, I believe. And anyway, ELAB right here, this was starting to look good. Remember, I was saying the other day it was looking good Thursday. Someone brought it up, and look at that. It looked like it ran up there on Friday. It certainly did, 267 to 368. So I would say that was pretty good. It closed at 230. It did close down, but we were looking at it right here. It closed at 260, and then it went up. So, yeah, it was looking pretty good right there. Pulled back a little bit, obviously, after that run up. We'll see what it wants to do this week, but that was a pretty good one as well. And Laptop Travel just said it's not looking so good for Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. So we'll look at it. Here's the over hours. I'll repost it right there. And let's see, the T-Rex inverse Bitcoin is up, it looks like. And ultra short, that is up. Well, this SCO, I'll go through some. That Pony's way up. Remember, we were looking at that Pony, said it wanted to run. And Wolf, what's that doing? That Wolf speed looks like it's up a little bit. And Hims and Hers is up. And the drip is up, the oil and gas. Remember, the ExxonMobil and the Oxy was looking good the other day. But anyway, I just posted that out if you want to check them out. And we'll definitely go through most of them anyway, so we'll check that out. Thank you very much, Laptop Travel. And ELAB, there you go. ELAB did run up. We'll have to see what it does. And VMAR right here was looking good. Remember, this thing was looking pretty good the other day. It ran up, says it pulled back a little bit, but I know it was up on Friday. Look at that thing. I didn't think 649 to 680. It closed at 678. So remember, someone brought that one up, and it was looking really good the other day. And it's another one, still looks pretty good right there. And that Starbucks was looking pretty good as well. STBX. That one pulled back right here. So ran up and pulled back. That was all over the place. Let's look at it. Let's see what it was doing right here. And it closed on Thursday at 241. It opened at 232. It got to 260 and then came down to 192. We'll look at that star box and see what it wants to do. It was in the channel, obviously. Thursday looking pretty decent. It ran up. We'll have to see how that opens up tomorrow. Wants to run in this FMTO in this reverse split recently, I think. It was in a good spot, that's for sure. Maybe that's what it was. It was way back there in April, so that wasn't what I was thinking. But this thing's looking pretty good, guys. Keep an eye on this FMTO. I remember talking about this last week, and there you go. I would say that's looking pretty good. FMTO, you might want to keep an eye on that one. Looking nice right there. And HKPD, I know this is that Hong Kong one. That's a recent, fairly recent one. Dipped down right there. Was trying to run up last week. Pulled back a little bit. And let's see HKPD. And just a little bit of pullback, and we'll see. Probably going to try to roll back off as they mostly like to. So obviously we'll keep an eye on that. And what's going on, Ghetto Stoic and everybody else hanging out. How is everybody this evening and your weekend? I hope you guys had a good weekend. You heard my crazy story. I'm nuts. But anyway, we're here just cruising through. Going to find all the poppers. You know that. That's what we love to do. Like that FMTO and VMAR looking good, and DNN's been running up there, and that CLBR is still looking good. And of course, that NIVF, we're going to be watching that for the reverse split tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I didn't write that. RS and Green Lane, GNLN, BTOG looking good. So just to name a few that we went through. And yeah, we just like to pick them out, the ones that are looking good, ready to get rolling. FPGL right here. This is one of them new ones that we were watching dip down, had a little run up, and now it appears to be running up. I remember someone brought it up. Was it Scott the other day? Because we hadn't looked at it. I was about to write in Scott. So there you go. Anyway, someone just brought it up last week, and it was looking pretty good. And there you go. It ran up on Friday, and it's not looking bad. So remember, I said we'd keep that there on the list in FBGL. There you go. I had it on the list already. It was already looking good. So keep an eye on that one. And here's your HIMS. Oh, there you go. HIMS. And it was running up there Friday, and I think it is up some more, according to Laptop Travel. And so there you go. We kind of nailed that one. And obviously, we'll be watching all these things this week, but they do have their earnings tomorrow. So you got to be careful with that as well. And you know that with all of them. And Bull, we've been watching to kind of pull back and was at the bottom, and it very well could. You can see there's like that 200 day. It got caught at the 50, but it's not telling you exactly. I'd rather wait. I wasn't jumping in on Friday just with that look. So maybe it gets into the channel. We'll take a look at it, but we'll see. It might just crawl up and then bounce back down. We'll look at Bull and track that one down as it's a brand new one, obviously, and it had spiked way up there. What was it at? Like over $80? Yeah, it was like $79, $80. And now we're looking at it in the 15s right there. So, and we'll definitely get it at the lowest price we can, or at least know that we got it at the best price where it's going up, and that you're gonna not risk at it. You're getting in and watching it pull back. That's just the worst to have to do. So Bull will watch and see when it wants to really be a bull and get moving. And how about this Viking right here? We kind of nailed this. I believe Luis Rodriguez brought this one up last week. And here you go. It's still crawling up and looking good, guys. It looks like it still wants to run up. Look at that. If it has a little bit of pullback tomorrow, it'll pull back here and get set up. So just watch it, because it's been running up a few days there. You can see, and see if it has a little healthy pullback to run up a little higher for that good old Viking Therapeutics. And ADD, let's see what Color Star. I remember looking at this last week, and it was trying to get set up, and it does appear that it's trying to roll off there. Let's see what ADD is doing. And yeah, look at it trying to roll up there. So check it out. It has to get up into that 75, 76 area, but maybe it just runs up there and pulls back. So I would be keeping an eye on ADD if it wants to get some ADD and start moving around. So you can add that to your watch list. You can see it trying to roll off. And again, we love them roll offs. And that has been the pattern for a few months. So if you've been following along, you know we look for it, but it's been working out to our benefit. You have to say we've been crushing the market every which way. As soon as we learn the pattern, which we've known for like months now, I'd say it was pretty easy, and you just had to catch on to exactly what was happening there. And that's the way the market always works. It's always a pattern. They change, and you got to be able to catch up on them or catch on to them. And we do it often. So anyway, Wolf Speed right here. And let's get back to these. Wolf Speed had been cruising up, and then it pulled back, and now it's rolling back up, and it does. What the heck am I doing? They do have earnings coming up this week, so they are Thursday. It's hitting that resistance, but it appeared that it was trying to cruise back up, and I think Laptop Travel did say it was up a little bit, and it does look good, guys. I would keep an eye on that. And again, that was one I was giving out down there in the $2 range. And there you go. And that's a semiconductor one. And I would say that was a good one that I gave out on the old small cap show right there. Good old Wolf. But yeah, you keep an eye on it. Doesn't look bad. Gets through up there into that on that resistance and up. It's going to keep on cruising. So yeah, watch that. Wolf Speed right there. And the other WULF is TerraWolf. And oh man, TerraWolf right here has earnings coming up. And let's see this one, just a little healthy pullback. You can see this one setting up. And again, I was down here in the twos. It's at the threes right now. So that one's still a good one right there as well. TerraWolf. And it is setting up maybe a little healthy pullback. You see as it rolls back and then gets set back up. But can't beat that one either right there. So TNON. Remember, we looked at this the other day. We were talking about it. This one, guys, ran from $4 to 125. I was telling the story the other day. I won't go into it in detail, but at 4 o'clock in the morning, it ran from $4 to $125, and at 7 a.m., the highest you could get it was at the highest it was is $15. So we were talking about how crazy they can move, and there was a lot of people trading it. There's a couple listeners that had made like six figures that day. It was pretty wild, guys. That's the day I realized that 4 o'clock mattered, and then after that I started factoring it in for sure. But that was wild right there, and stocking up for future hit 100% on PLRZ too. So there you go for that one. And TNON, we were just talking about that, and Sam was talking about it. I know that. So two of you guys now and them. And like I said, we go through so many great ones that it's perfectly fine if you don't hit them all, because I don't expect anybody to. I can't trade them all, I can tell you that, but you just pick the ones that are good, and I just enjoy going through the charts and seeing everything, and you got to go through and know what's going on in the market anyway. So that's how it works, and I've learned just pick the ones that you're really confident in and trade them smart, and you'll do better than if you try to buy all these things and try to shuffle them around and trade them all. It gets a little bit hectic and crazy. So you end up with like 10 of them. It's trying to keep track of it. You need spreadsheets and then a spreadsheet for that spreadsheet, because it'll be wild. So anyway, that's TNON. And we were just looking at it because it jumped up into this channel right here. We were just telling the story and looked at it real quick, and it didn't look too bad. So we'll keep an eye on it this week, see what it wants to do right there. I forgot. I just wanted to check out that hit. It was just down a little bit, and it doesn't look too bad though. This one, that BDRX, I kind of took it off. It ran up a little bit in the after hours, but it looked like it was pulling back right there. I'll look at it tomorrow, but I just figured what the heck with them. And anyway, we try to move on if they're not cruising there. And SPRC right here wasn't looking too bad. So keep an eye on this one. Somebody was asking about SPRC, and now you see why. It was 27 to 57, and it closed at 39. So it did cruise. I'd have to look at that tomorrow. Look at our nice blue screen, but I'll look at that tomorrow after that big run up right there and see what it wants to do. And DHAI, I'm not even familiar with this one, a medical device company. That one doesn't look too bad right there. DHAI ran up Thursday, a little bit Friday. I'd have to look at that, but it doesn't look bad to stay in that channel and try to keep cruising up there. So There you go with DHAI and AIFU. What is this one? That's a China insurance broker. That one ran up pretty good. It looks like a little bit of healthy pullback, it appears. Let me take a better look, and there you go. 15 to 38, back to 13. So not only did it run, it closed up lower than it ran open there. And that was a pretty big run up, I must say. So I'd have to look at that because that's just a big old run up there on a Friday, especially. And Weemies is Chinese one. And let's see, this one's actually getting set up, guys. We're going to have to add this back to the list. And like I was saying, I think some of these China small cap ones are getting set up. And I think we'll have to keep an eye back on this one. I remember it ran not long ago, right, for us. It ran for us. We mentioned it, and it popped right away. But we'll have to keep an eye on this Weemy hologram right here and see what it wants to do as it's getting set up this week. And let's see what else. There's a couple other good ones. YHC right here. I remember we were looking at this bad boy at reverse split back there, and it had pulled back a lot. We took it off, but now let's look at it because it looks like it could be trying to base out down here. YHC. So, yeah, it might be a good one to take a look at. I'll definitely keep an eye on that one tomorrow and see what it wants to do. And how about AIMD? Whoop, that's not it. Right here's AIMD. And let's see what it's doing. Let's see. It just looks like it's pulling back actually right there. And AIMD doesn't look, I mean, it could do anything, but it looks like it's pulling back at the moment. You can kind of see it's sitting right there. On here, it was kind of pulling back. I'd have to get a better look at that tomorrow when it's moving around to see exactly what it's doing. And NVNI was one that popped up. What was it, Friday, Thursday? One of them days, Thursday, I guess it was. And then Friday just pulling back there. So probably have to take a better look at NVNI tomorrow, see if it pulls back to the 20 to get set back up. And again, once these things pop up there, guys, they will come back down. So that's what you're looking at. And a lot of times they run up and then they run up more like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then they come back down. Remember, we were just looking at this green wave and looking at the waste management ones. This thing was moving along. I did remember seeing this the other day on Friday, and keep an eye on this. It was cruising 18 to 22. It's at 21. So that's a good one that we had just been looking at. And we were just looking at this RNAZ. What was this one doing? Transcode RNAZ. Let's see. It ran up there Thursday, a little bit of healthy pullback there. It looks like, let me see, 60 to 64, back to 36. I'd have to take a better look at that one, just a little pullback, but it did run up there, not in a terrible spot there. So that's one we can look at. And JDZG, this one's a popular one right now online. It's up a little bit in the after hours or wherever in the overnight. And you can see this is one of them China small cap ones. And it does appear that it wants to run up there. So JDZG, keep an eye on that as it's trying to cruise 72 to 89. And it's at 85 right there. So, that's a momentum play for you. Early in the morning. We'll see at 7 o'clock, but you 4 o'clock crew, keep an eye. And good old AppLovin right here was looking pretty good. They have earnings coming up on Wednesday, but APP looking pretty good right there. Look at that running up there. So keep an eye on good old AppLovin. It could keep its momentum as well. AFRM, let's see what that's doing right here. AFRM, Affirm. And that's another one that looks pretty good. May 8th is Thursday, and it is curling up. So look for that one in the morning to try to run up a little bit more. AFRM. And I would say keep momentum look on that. And PTIX, what's that doing this evening or for tomorrow anyway? PTIX. And a little bit of pullback there, a little flat hitting that MACD. I don't know if you're getting through right there. Look at that look. And it does have a reverse split, so we'd have to look at that one on the reverse split. When was that happening? Tomorrow? So we might want to keep an eye on PTIX with the reverse split there tomorrow, that's for sure. And APDN was not looking bad last week, actually. Was getting set back up here, just trying to stair-step its way. That did look like the bottom down there, like that 73. It had that nice dip down there. and APDN could get up into this channel and try to get moving again. So we will be keeping an eye on that. You can see that 20 coming down. So we'll be watching that this week. And ATPC right here is at Agape, and it did come back down under $2 right there. Let's see. ATPC, that was a nice dip right here. Let's see what it's up to. And 230 down to 191. It's at 195. So there you go. And that says at 204, but it does say 195 right there. I believe that one. And it was coming down towards that 20. So there you go. That was actually pulling back right there. ATPC looks like it could still be pulling back. We can look at that again. And DXF, let's see what that's doing. What is that up to? I know it was trying to get set up. Let's see if it wants to get rolled off or pull back a little bit. But DXF, not looking too bad. Again, I'll have to look at it. Let's see if we can find the best opportunity on it. That's what we like to do instead of just throwing it out there. Let's find where that bottom is, and it could very well be right there at that 586, but it could still pull back as it's getting set up. So I'd much rather take a look at it and see and not rush it, because you don't really need to. And there you go with them. And I will go through. I'll take a look at our laptop travel list and our Jolie's jams, and I'll see what you guys want to see. And then we'll do our crypto and everything else real quick. And then we'll wrap it up for a Sunday night. So let me know what you guys want to look at. And, we'll go through. Let's see what our laptop travel list is up to. ACT, and I'm telling, that's like, I hope I'll get through all the SPY and all them. So I'll try to cruise right through. And those of you just tuning in, I decided to accidentally smack myself in the face, like full-fledged, full swing upward like that, trying to get a stake out of the ground with the hammer, and I hit myself right there, and it's definitely swelled up, and I can tell I can't really talk as well, but it's all good. We're cruising through. I'm doing pretty well, I'd say, and definitely not 100% with it. I'm telling you, I could just look at these charts. I guess it doesn't matter. After I got hit with a 10-ton jack and the pressure of the house, I was in the hospital looking at these things, and I could still kind of make them out. I don't know if I was looking at it right, but I was definitely looking at them that night. And I'm kind of glad I did, because I think it kind of saved my brain a little bit, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, just bizarre. And I just look at these things and I can just get into them like it's nothing. But ACT, let's look at Laptop Travels list right here. It's always a real solid list of some good ones, and ones that you can just turn to try to trade. And look at this bad boy trying to cruise up there to 73. And like I said, 65 to 73, if it runs up there, is a beautiful little day right there. Get in and out and look at your next opportunity. If you can't find something, it is a great list. Look at this thing. This was moving up 16 cents and 13 in the after hours. ADVM. And a lot of these, we look at them, and Laptop Travel runs a scanner, and throughout the week you'll see the list change up a little bit, but again, they're just really good solid ones. As you can see, they get into the channel, they run up, then they pull back. That's usually when they switch up a little bit, and then boom, they start running up again. Like this ALDX looking really good right there, was running up. So there's three really good ones right there, I must say. ALDX looking pretty good. And let's see what else is going on right here with AVTX. And that was going up in the after hours. I was going to say it's trying to set up. Let's see if it really was going up there. But it is trying to set up. And it was running around 504 to 531. It's closed at. This one says it opened and closed at the same price. It is getting set up, I'd say, a few days. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And CLSD right here, Clearside Biomedical. And that was up a little tiny bit trying to get set up. So CLSD not looking bad. And Clearside Bio, I would have to imagine they have something to do with like psychedelics or something. Just the lettering of that, CLSD. And then Clearside Biomedical. It just seems like they would be a little psychedelic company or something. I don't know. No idea what these companies do. You guys know that, but it is a biotech. So that's why I was looking to see if I saw anything. I do not see anything. Anyway, who cares? And but just an interesting letter combo. CLSD right there. and let's see if it wants to get tripping. I'm telling you, it doesn't look too bad right there, CLSD. So we will keep an eye on that, and let's see what Hal wants to do. That werewolf. Let's see if he wants to get Hal in this week. It was moving in this channel. It's not looking bad, and I would say Hal doesn't look bad to stay right there. So keep an eye on HOWL. And of course, let's look at MRSN right here. Mersana Therapeutics. Look at this getting set up, guys. Maybe a little bit of pullback, but that's getting set up. So a great list right here. And OVID, I think we were looking at this last week. It's in that channel getting curled up. Does look really nice right there. Look at that thing just been running around. So be keeping an eye on that to try to run up a little higher, up towards that 50 and prime right here, PRME. It was prime something. If I could type it in, hold on. There we go. Prime medicine is what it is. And let's see if it can get that Pac-Man look. It'll come down and roll back up. It's just pulling back right here to roll back up is what it appears. And then it will be prime. So obviously it ran up a little bit, let it roll back, and then run up again. If you like to go to prime medicine, that's what you're looking at. And SOPH right here, Sophia Genetics. And this thing had some good spike ups. They have earnings coming up Tuesday, and that thing looks like it wants to roll up. So a really good solid list right there for laptop travel. Thank you very much. 304 to 333, and it closed at 304. Interesting right there for that SOPH, Sophia Genetics. So definitely an interesting look. We'll look at that. Let's go through our Joey's Jams, and we'll go through our SPY, big caps, all them guys, and see what we're looking at for tomorrow and what you guys want to look at. Agrify, look at that. Remember, we said it was looking good. Well, I guess it was on Friday. And Blink, let's look at that. That was okay. Up a penny. It was trying to get set up, and it does have earnings coming up on next Monday. So not exactly yet, but it is trying to get set back up as it jumped up there. Sezzle wasn't looking bad. That was up, and look at that bad boy. And they do have options now, and Sterling wasn't looking bad, and that was up there. Remember, we were looking at that saying it would get closer to 200. Well, now it's at 160 something. It was cruising up. So there you go. It's Sterling. And let's look at Rivian, RIVN. And that had been running up. It could be topping out. I'd have to look at that tomorrow. And Symbotic right here is in a good spot, run up there on Friday, and does not look bad. So we'll keep an eye on Symbotic to see. And they had the earnings coming up on the 7th, which is Wednesday right there. So our Jolie's Jams. And of course, we'll be on at 7 a.m. to go over our Jolie's Jumpers and our laptop lowdowns and the rest of our SPY big caps and all them. We'll go over our SPY and big caps right now, but we'll check them out at 7 a.m. for our pre-market show. So those of you just tuning in or new tuning in, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you follow along on X and YouTube and all that good stuff. And we do a night show at 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday night. We do the night show, and then our pre-market show is Monday through Friday mornings at 7 a.m. and same spot every time. And I send out the links, or you can just hop on the YouTube or X and always see it on there. So again, greatly appreciate everybody hanging out, tuning in, and contributing. I'll go through and see what we're looking at. Let me just run through the SPY real quick, and then Big Caps Mag 7, see what they're up to. We'll look at crypto, and then we'll end it with what you guys want to see, and we'll hit the scanners. But I have a feeling we probably already looked at everything that we're going to be finding on the scanners, but we'll check them out anyway. And here we go. That SPY, it did close up right there. Remember, it was way up. And the jobs report came out or something, and it wasn't so bad. And then, boom, it ran up. And remember what I was saying. How do you make the argument to not bring the rates down? I have no idea. Does the Fed actually speak this week? Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travel always know that stuff. So I'm sure one of them will post it. And I know it says it over here, what they're doing or something, May 4th. Let's see if I do this. Oh, there you go. Look at that. I didn't even think to do that, but that was all last week. And then they don't tell me anything. So maybe that's not going to help us out one bit. So anyway, they'll probably let us know. I'm sure Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travel always let us know. And there's your SPY. It was up pretty good, I must say, on Friday. So we will see. And the futures were down a little bit. And look at it. It could get set back up in this channel. Not a big deal if it does. So just look for that pullback, and we'll obviously be looking at all of them. And at 7 a.m., really dissecting the market to see what it wants to do this week. But here you go. Apple was pulling back, and Apple was the one that was red. I mean, the whole market was green, and then Apple was a nice red apple right there. So that's what you got. And we will see if it's down a little bit more, but it's probably going to get caught up on that 20 and may be a good opportunity right there. Amazon was just hitting the 50, coming back a little bit, so maybe you have a little bit of pullback. And Google was looking good, running up there. It still does not look bad. We'll have to take a look at it in the morning, but remember we were saying Google looked good right there. And Meta wasn't too bad. It was run up $24 to $5.97. And it's hitting that resistance. I could see it trying to pull back right there. So not in a bad spot, but I could see it trying to come back into that channel for Meta. So absolutely be watching for that. And again, we'll watch them all in the morning, see what they're up to. And Microsoft went nutty and kept on running up a little bit higher. So there you go at Microsoft. And good old NVIDIA right here. This one was jumped up as well. And it does not look bad, but there is some resistance up there. So we will have to keep an eye on the video just to see. But like I said, it doesn't look bad. Maybe it gets up to that 118 area. So keep an eye for NVIDIA to try to run up a little bit. And Tesla right there, 287 and getting set up. Look at that thing curling up, looking good. So Tesla not looking bad right there. Maybe you get a little bit of pullback right here, but Tesla's looking pretty good, I must say. How about AMC? That one is getting to be in a great spot. We've been talking about it, and there you go. They have earnings coming up, and they must be like, I wouldn't doubt if they announced. Did they ever announce that they're doing stuff with crypto? I'm not sure, but if they hadn't, I don't really follow, me with the news. But if they hadn't, I would imagine something's going on there. You can just see the way it's getting set up with AMC. So we're keeping an eye on that. And GameStop's been pretty good, just pulling back there. So we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow. Chewy has been pretty good too as well. And it was moving. It's just making a little base, but looks like it's going to curl up higher. And Unity's another one that looks good. So the Roaring Kitty dudes, Roaring Kitty ones aren't too bad. Couldn't think of that dude's name. Anyway, there you go. And that is the AMC, GameStop, Chewy, and them guys. And Netflix right here was up some more, over 1,100, hitting all-time highs. And it was in the top. I said, be careful, but it did run up higher. I mean, we knew in the 900s it was going over 1,000. So I would say you were pretty safe right there. And AVGO, these guys ran up some more as well. They were looking pretty good. Maybe you have a little bit of pullback right here. As they get set back up, you can see we'll be watching them tomorrow, obviously. And MU was running up some, and you do have that resistance up here. So maybe they'll be hitting and pulling back some, and then they'll get set back up. TSM right here trying to run up, almost hit the 200-day. So, I mean, he just cranked this whole market up and went nuts. And again, maybe you'll have some pullback there, but nothing crazy now. I mean, the market's going to run up and back. SMCI actually looking way better, trying to roll off. And remember, they have their earnings coming up on Tuesday. So it will be very interesting right there. AMD was up a little bit, not looking too bad. So we'll keep our eye on AMD for sure. And how about that? QCOM was running up, and it had pulled back quite a bit on the earnings, and we'll see if that gets rolled up. So not too bad. And let me see what is next right here. Intel, INTC, if I could type it in right here. And there you go. That one's crawling up and not looking bad. So, holy cow, what am I doing, guys? I think my brain's getting tired. But yeah, Intel not looking bad. And remember, it had been pulling back, but getting set up right there. I was just trying to remember. And PayPal right there is up a little bit. Getting over to 50. I keep an eye on this to try to run up. Snow had been running up good. And again, these things, I don't know if they're going to get into the top and run. We might see some pullback. and then get them running back up there. Dell was running up a lot of resistance right there to be able to pull back, so keep an eye for that. And Palantir has been running up like a monster, and this one does look like it wants to run up into the top, and we had that one pretty good. And Sophie hasn't been looking too bad, I must say. It was running up to the 14, pulling back there to the 50, but looks like it wants to roll back up. So, yeah, it's not looking bad at all. And good old Mara and Riot, we're not looking bad. Look at these things setting up, looking good. So, we are keeping an eye on these guys for sure. And what is Clean Spark? Look at that thing trying to get set up. So, we are definitely looking at them. That's for sure. I mean, all of them are looking good. Mara, Riot, Clean Spark, they all look good. They were saying that MicroStrategy and Bitcoin might have been down. I know that Bitcoin, because I'm looking at the thing, has been down a little bit this evening, and Bitcoin is at 94,143, so it's definitely down a little bit. And Solana's back to 143. Ethereum's under 1,800 right there, so that did pull back. And it is at, I'll tell you in 2 seconds, 1794, and XRP is at 214. Definitely pull back, and Cardano is at 67. So let's take a look and see what they're up to real quick, and we'll cover our crypto and see what that's doing. Let's look at these, and then I'll tell you what. I didn't even look at the ETF, but I'll have to take a look. And there you go, Bitcoin. And remember, we were saying they were getting into the top, and now we get our look on them on here. So I can, not there, but here. And now we can do this and this, and now we get them. And remember, I was saying they're going to run up into the top over here. And if they run into the top, they're definitely going to have to pull back. I mean, they still could roll off into the MACD and get rolling back up there. We'd like to see that. But you obviously, look how high up you are. You could clearly come down some to get moving, and we could come back down into that 20, like the lower 90s. So you could see it happen right there. Here's your Ethereum. They are setting up, don't get me wrong, but I mean, Ethereum looks like it wants to roll off way more than Bitcoin does. So obviously, if they're all getting set up like that, Bitcoin may get changed around. But look at Solana. It looks like it wants to come down right there. Really, it'd have to get held back up. So Solana looks like it is pulling back. And Ripple also. And of course, these were getting set up, a little bit of pullback and hitting up here. I could see it pulling back a little bit for Ripple at the moment. And even Doge right here, this is getting set up and a little bit of pullback. So I must say they are pulling back some, that's for sure. Let's see what SUI is doing. That was way run up there in the top. And clearly, that actually looks like it wants to get hung up there, run up a little higher. So that's an interesting one right there. And there's Cardano right here, and that had been set up, pulling back a little bit, and nothing crazy. Like I said, even if they cross down, I don't think it's terrible right there. So that's our crypto look. And I don't even know what the ETF was at. I think it was around, if I remember correctly, 5.2 million market cap. Let me look. I totally forget, guys. I thought, if you're just tuning in, crazy weekend for me. Hit myself in the face with a hammer right there. 5.1 market cap. I think it might have went down a little bit, but it isn't looking too bad. I mean, it's still sitting right there. And as long as it makes a base right here, it'll be really solid. So you see crypto pulling back. Hopefully it does get cruising up a little bit more. But there you go. It's at a 5.1. And let's get through the rest of our list, see what you guys want to see, and we'll wrap it up there. So DJT right here, that's been looking good. It does look like it wants to get up there, but again, look at that resistance. I don't think it's going through that right now. So they could have a little bit of pullback ahead of them. Fun's been getting set up and actually looks pretty good right there. Look at that thing was jumping up. So Fun has been looking fun and has been jumping up. And this mountain's not been looking too bad. We'll keep an eye on it. It hasn't been the greatest, but it did jump up recently. McDonald's pulling back there. We thought it was hitting that resistance, and it certainly did for MACD or MCD. And Boeing, this is up was cruising up there. So I was actually surprised Boeing got over that new trend and was cruising. Space starting to move around. Look at it in the channel right there. IBM was up and getting set up. Look at this setup happening. Could pull back a little bit, but IBM is getting set up, looking good. And good old Disney, like I said, this thing gets into the lower 90s and 80s. It usually gets back into the hundreds. So take a look at it. They do have earnings coming up on Wednesday. So Disney's reporting Wednesday. And good old Oxy right here, them gas and oil ones were setting up the other day. Look at them. Oxy has earnings on Wednesday as well. So tons of earnings coming up this week as well. And ExxonMobil right here, this one was trying to get set up. It ran up a little bit Friday, and they do look like they want to roll off. So we'll be watching ExxonMobil to see exactly. Look at that. It looks like it wants to roll off to me. So we'll be watching that. ExxonMobil right there. And let's see what Nike is doing. Not that. NKE was running up right there, not looking bad, and it did run up 3% plus. And DXYZ right here is getting set up, guys, but they do not have options. So you can't trade that with options. It has to be with stocks. And let's see, Green Lane right there. We already looked at Logic Mark, PLRZ, and our Soxel right here. Let's look at it and see what it's doing. It was up more, and it is looking pretty good. So I must say the semiconductors are probably looking good, and we picked that out before. There's that IBO. We saw that FRGT was running up there Friday, and that CNA had run up a little bit. We're already looking at it. And there's Reshape Life Sciences. That's all right. This trying to move up there. Let's see. It was running up. And let's see. Nothing too crazy right there. Tesla Palantir DGLY Kids plug right there, pulling back. And ITO. We've looked at everything right there. And that big bear, there's Ford. And yeah, I think we probably Wolf. We look at like everything, guys. I must say, we'll see if there's anything over here real quick, but I'm sure we got to almost everything. AIFU, what is that? That's just pulling back. PAPL. There you go. There's your pineapple right there. Maybe that's where I saw it. I don't really remember, but there you go. It's your pineapples getting set up, and like I said, we see it all. This AGAE was running up there. And let's see, what was that? ADIL. I thought I just there it goes. That was down a little bit. Here's that click. We were talking about that last week as well, looking good, and that ran up. So there you go. U.S. stock futures slip after after record streak with Fed earnings and focus. Oil drops more than $2 BBL a barrel, I'm guessing, as OPEC plus accelerates output hikes. Stock futures inch lower after S&P 500 notches best winning streak in 20 years. And you're telling me that inflation's a problem. That's what Trump's doing right there. So we talked about it. Bond traders swing to Powell's side as Trump calls for rate cuts. Oh, wow. Well, who said that's going to happen? And why Trump and investors will probably be disappointed by the Fed this week. So do they talk? I'm not sure, but you guys will let me know, and I'll go through and see what's going on. Let me see what you guys want to look at. And how is everybody stocking up for future? Daniel Lewis, we did look at the GNLN, and it's not looking too bad. And that PLRZ, multiple people hit that one. DGLY, we did look at it, and I was telling my crazy story, guys. I smacked myself in the face right there with a hammer, full swing, pulling up on it, boom, trying to get a stake out of the ground like an idiot. I definitely shouldn't have been doing that, so that definitely rattled me a little bit. And HIM's ARM, let's look at that one. We haven't looked at that. ARM, that's a good semiconductor, and that's rolling up. I think we just mentioned that the other day or like 2 weeks ago or something, and that is a good one right there. ARM looking good for the semiconductors. And let's see what else was on there. I forget. EL, that's what it says, I think. Is that what it says? I can't even tell. Estee Lauder, there you go. Hey, the earnings on Thursday right there. And it doesn't look too bad. I mean, I'd have to look at EL tomorrow. It's got that crazy look. You can see it's trying to curl up to 50 right there. I'd look at EL in the morning, see what that's doing. And Adobe right here. And look at that. We were talking about this going up, and boom, that one ran up pretty well. So there you go with Adobe. And yeah, that did definitely move up there quite well. And let's see, HKPD. We definitely looked at that one. It was not looking bad. And like I said, these China, and this is a Hong Kong one, It was a little pullback right there. It was in that channel. But yeah, we're going to see if that can get ripping. And again, some of these China small caps are looking pretty good. And we've been looking at this one, Clue. It ran up a little bit last week, and then it's trying to move again. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one. And let's see. Justin made 150% on kids, sold way too early, but can't complain. I hear you. Like I said, it's 150% to 150% any day of the week. You never know that they're going to go 300 or 400%. And PTPI, I think we did look at it. Didn't they just they just reverse split. We're gonna look at this bad boy in the morning and see what it's doing. That's for sure. And that is your PTPI again, just reverse split, and we'll see when it wants to get curled up right there. And let's see what's going on with Decker. That one was looking good last week. I remember that was up 581. There you go. So remember, we were saying that had looked good, and I would say it looked good right there. And it could continue to roll. So keep an eye on DECK right there. And we did like that. And what else did we like? DXCM right here. Let's see what that is. Oh, holy cow. DXCM. There we go. Whoa, that one's running up. Dexcom. That one looks like it's going to keep some momentum, guys. Keep an eye on that. DXCM. There we go. And yeah, look at that, 72 to 81. That definitely has some nice momentum right there. I do like that. ASTS was a really good one. Another one, the story trading guys like ASTS. And we've talked about this on the small cap show a bunch. They do have earnings coming up next week, next Monday, but this is a good one. AST Space Mobile, they're really good right there. And Lulu, we were talking about this, and you nailed that one. And Elf, and Elf Beauty looking good right there. That chart looks good. And so, bam. I think we were just talking about that. I was trying to get over to 50. I'd say it did it, huh? And looks like it wants to cruise up a little bit. So I would say Elf looks good. We talked about the DGLY, and it was okay. We'll be watching that in the morning. And let's see, there's a lot of nice setup showing potential this week. So ABVE, let's see what that's doing. Above food. Holy cow, look at that thing, dude. That thing ran way up there, huh? Wow, Laptop Travel. We used to look at this ABVE, and that thing went cruising up. I'm not sure I'd be chasing it now, but wow, that did move right there. So that was a beast. You're right about that. And let's see. Let me see what else is going on right here. Just looking. Bull. Let's see. Think 1309 was the low right there. So that's what Laptop Travel was saying. It's back to 15, and it isn't looking bad. We'll make sure it's curling. And even if it curls up, even if it's not, it'll curl up and hit this and then bounce up. So it does look like it's going to curl back up to try to get some momentum, and then it'll come back down. And that Apple oven was looking really good. We were checking that out. That looks like it's cruising. So Isabella was swinging that bad boy, and CLSD at Clearside. Biomedical is a biopharmaceutical company specializing in therapies for back of the eye diseases, so hence the clear, not psychedelic. So I'm really bad at this. I thought Hims and Hers was a sex toy company. I thought this was a psychedelic company. Don't ever ask me what a company does, guys. I'm going to get it wrong. But I'll tell you what the stock chart can do. And so, yeah, that's why I tell you the companies don't matter clearly, but I just take a guess sometimes. It's like a fun game, I guess. So there you go. Clearside, that's what they do. They do eye diseases and stuff like that. So, and Sezzle's still hot. It sure is sizzling. It's really sizzling and sizzling up there. And let's see, the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, is scheduled to meet on Tuesday, May 6th and Wednesday the 7th. So this is the third of 8 regularly scheduled meetings for 2025. The FOMC will release its policy statement at 2 p.m. on May 7th, followed by a press conference with Jerome Powell at 2:30. So that's all Wednesday. So yeah, that'll be an interest. So yeah, it could be a little flat running around this week. You can tell it just got running up and futures were down. So who knows? Maybe it's just running around a little bit. We'll know at 7 a.m. when we do our pre-market show. That's for sure. Let me see if I missed anything else over here. Let me check out the messages over here and the overnight trading. I'll post that out. Tesla looks like it is down. They all look like they're down. NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Google, and Amazon seems to be down the most. So Tesla's down the least. And there you go. And it is May the 4th be with you today. So hopefully May the 4th be with Cinco de Mayo tomorrow, and the market gets cruising. But it doesn't matter. We don't mind which way it goes as long as we know which way it's moving. That's all that matters. And Luis Rodriguez was saying it's interesting leveraged ETF that provides 1.5 or to 2 times daily exposure to MicroStrategy, while at the same time attempting to distribute income weekly through a credit call spread method. So that's pretty wild. What is that? MST? What is that one? Is that one that had the oh, that's a new one, huh? This is brand spanking new. So there you go. Luis Rodriguez showing us a new one right there. We'll have to look at it. Let's see what it wants to do. It did spike up pretty well. So let's see what that wants to do right there. Pretty interesting. And the FOMC meeting and the Fed chair. So there you go. Just like we were reading, but I'll repost that one as well so you guys can see it. And Bitcoin back down to 94,000 like we were talking about. So it did pull back right there. I think, 94,341 right now. And let's see, BRK. Oh, that Berkshire. How crazy is the movement? It's what is that really at $809,000? I remember it was at 250,000 not long ago. Berkshire Hathaway. I haven't looked at it. Holy shit! Look at that thing. Yeah, it was at like 250,000. That was at $500,000, but yeah, that's almost $1 million a share. It went up almost $14,000 on the other day, and yeah, that's pretty wild right there, I must say. And so yeah, Berkshire, and again, he's retiring, he said. So I don't know why it didn't just come up. No, that's weird. I was gonna say, what does it even come up on? Did I even spell it right? I didn't even spell it right. It's BERK for one. There you go. And where's it at? Berkshire. Here it is. I knew it came up. Yeah, look at this thing, and it does look like it wants to crawl up higher. So yeah, $803,000. It's a pretty expensive stock right there, almost $1 million a share for Berkshire Hathaway. And let's see. What else is going on? Boom, ETF, XHLD. Let's look at that, Barbara. What's that one about? XHLD. 10 holdings. Oh yeah, this is that new one. We had looked at this back then, and that doesn't look too bad. XHLD. Come on up. You got it. There you go. Yeah, look at that trying to crawl. It's pushing that 20, so I'd keep an eye on that. Yeah, I'll be good. I'm a maniac. I know I hit myself in the face with a hammer. And so yeah, an AREB, we did that. DXF not looking bad. We got the ATPC that was pulling back in AREB. We looked at, so perfect there. I want to make sure I got everything. And let me see. I think we kind of did FPGL. We got an APDN. And let's see what else. And I think that's all them bad boys right there. And again, we do the small cap show tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Don't mind me. And yeah, there you go. Let me see what else we got here. BRB, Berkshire B options could be good play. There's some pullback tomorrow on the retirement news. Sam was saying, and again, Sam was at the meeting right there. So let's just bring them up. We'll look at Berkshire B. Oh, this was the one that's at 539. So you can actually kind of trade this one. And they do have they had their earnings, or they have them tomorrow right there. And Sam was saying there was some pullback, so keep an eye. It actually looks pretty good right there. And let's see if I can get it to come up again. Berkshire B. And I mean, it does look pretty good. We'll look and see if it does pull back there, but they're not looking bad. And what is BSE? EM. What is that one? BSEM. BSEM. Oh, it's an OTC or BioStem Technologies right here. And that doesn't look too bad. It does look like it's trying to come back to roll off right there. So we keep an eye on that. And this Geo Drill one, this one's a pretty good one we talked about before. And look at that getting set up, guys. So keep an eye on that Geo Drill. And I wonder what the gold and stuff is doing. They've been pulling back right there. So they have been pulling back. GDX. Yeah, gold is pulling back a little bit. We'll see what it wants to do. There you go. And yeah, that's definitely pulling back. NUGT pulling back. It's hitting that support. We'll see if it can keep some support right there. It does look like it'll get set up, but not exactly at the moment right there. So there you go. I think we got everything right there, I must say. And let me see if I missed anything. I think I got all that. We did all that and crypto and everything else. So yeah, I think we got everything. And I told you guys a crazy story to start the show off if you didn't hear it. Just messing around out in the yard doing some landscaping stuff and smacked myself in the face with a hammer right there. So yeah, I'm not even talking 100%. I could tell my face. I can't move my mouth that much. My face is like swelled up, and yeah, somehow I didn't like knock out any teeth. They're not even loose, and didn't hit myself in the nose or anything. So just keep on cruising along, one injury after another, and I just keep on going. I have no idea how, but I am a maniac, I have to say, and that's why I can't be doing that stuff anymore because I am definitely nuts. And I'm better off doing this, I can promise you that, than smacking myself in the face with a hammer because it definitely hurt. I'm not going to lie, but guess I can still take a good shot to the face. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. I would say that's a good market review, good story, and a great weekend right there. They go by so fast, and we're already into the month of May right here, and it's Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. So I hope people are having a good time with Cinco de Mayo, having a fiesta and some parties. And yeah, we'll see if the market wants to have a fiesta in the morning at 7 a.m. We'll be up and doing the pre-market show. So if you're new and just tuning in, I greatly appreciate everybody hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the show. Follow along on YouTube and X and everything else. And we do it every night at 9 p.m. or Sunday through Thursday night, 9 p.m. And then Monday morning through Friday mornings, 7 a.m. We're always on for pre-market. And we go through the market really well, see what's popping, what's going to be popping, and know exactly how the market's going to be rolling. So we cruise through. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun. Gold is up overnight trading, Laptop Travel said. And we have a great community. I promise you, a lot of knowledgeable people. And like I say, it's a great group effort. I just kind of put it together and, make it all work. But you guys send in a lot of great ones as well. Obviously, a ton of great ones. And we just go through and, like I said, I facilitate the show. We look at the stock charts. We figure out what wants to be popping. We try to time them out. We pick out so many that you couldn't possibly trade them all, which is a great problem to have. And you just got to go through. And like I say, if you pick one and then you see another one pop and you're like, damn, I should have got to pick that different one. It always happens that way. Just be patient. Yours will pop. If you're confident with the chart and it stays set up, and you ask about it, I break them all down every day, and we never let any of them go. Even if they pull back, you guys know I'll definitely stay on it and keep you guys in the loop. I've never not gone. I look at what Logic Mark did. I mean, it took a nap right there that 2 weeks ago, I guess it is. I don't even remember now, but I mean, it straight up took a nap on us back here, and then all of a sudden it started running last week. So we'll see what it has in the tank this week. That's for sure. We'll be going over tomorrow morning and everything else. And like I said, we'll be keeping an eye on this NIVF. It is reverse splitting tomorrow, and it is looking pretty good. Look at this thing. I mean, it was hopping up there a little bit, but it does say it's reverse splitting. So keeping our eye for that Cinco de Mayo reverse split, NIVF, and a bunch of other ones. So there you go, everybody. I think that was a good market review. And again, I hope you guys appreciate, or I hope you guys enjoyed it. I greatly appreciate it. I can't even talk, but we'll be back at 7 a.m. and we'll roll right through the market and see what's popping, what's going on. And there you go. So have a great night, everybody. And thanks again for tuning in. Any questions, let me know. And I will catch you guys early in the morning at 7 a.m. So have a good night and enjoy the rest of the weekend. And I'll see you guys at 7.